So this is a big deal for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Sure is. They're all big deals, but
isn't this the biggest though?
It certainly is. It certainly is the most ambitious. Yes.
So what is next when this thing rakes in $1 billion over the weekend?
You know, the great thing about all of this is we work in 3 to 4 year cycles. So Avengers is the culmination of things we've been working on since 2007, and Iron Man 3, which starts filming in about 5 weeks, we've been working on since 2010. So we definitely look for the long play, and I'm very excited now that Avengers is complete, that it's out, soon to be out in the world, and people will see it, I hope, as a great standalone adventure. Those following along will see it as the culmination of what's come before, and what we know, and what I hope the audience is interested in seeing, is how it's the springboard for everything else going forward.
Well, then that's my next question is, so this, let's say it's a huge success, which I'm confident it will be.
Mm-hmm.
Is Disney going to want you to push for Avengers 2, or are you going to try to do a few spin-offs in between? Or
well, we've already announced, certainly we're already working. There will be a number of movies already in the works before an Avengers 2 would ever come along. And we've announced the next Iron Man film, the next Thor film. We've just announced the release date for the Captain America film, and at some point in the near future we'll be announcing the second movie in 2014.
But how about Black Widow? How about Hawkeye? How about some of these minor characters going to get their shot now?
I certainly hope so. It's I don't know if they'll get their shot before another Avengers movie, or if they'll get their shot in one of the other movies I've just named. But clearly, it's what I love about these characters is their ability to join up for adventures and be on their own standalones, and particularly Scarlett and Jeremy Renner and what Avengers has done, I think, to Black Widow and to Hawkeye, to Natasha and to Clint. People, we're going to get asked that question a lot.
Yes. Well, I was talking to Kobe, and same thing with Black Widow and Hawkeye. It seemed like we were just scratching the surface of those characters, especially Kobe.
Yes.
And I was asking her, has Josh told you anything about the, is this going to be a S.H.I.E.L.D.-focused thing? What's going on with Fury and the Council? You're going to sweep it under there? And she had no clue, but can you give me a little tidbit of
we think Kobe's amazing, and Maria Hill, as the comic readers know, is an important character, and we certainly hope that fans will be seeing more of her. I won't exactly say where or how, but we already know where she's going and where you'll see her again, but we're not going to talk about it.
Of course not. So, how do you feel the premiere's going? What was your reaction last night with the?
I think it was great. Listen, premiere audiences, you never know. People are doing the red carpet. They've got their fancy suits on. Everyone's nervous. Is their seat good? How dare they put me in the back row? Everyone is sort of has that on the mind. But I will say the movie played, and when you get that many laughs and spontaneous applause at numerous points over the course of the movie, at a stuffy premiere, then that's usually a good sign for what the real audience will do.
I think Joss nailed it too.
That's great.
I think he put in just enough humor
and
fun, and still just totally enveloped and kept true to the whole. He embraced the comic bookiness.
Yeah, for sure.
But yet he did it. It wasn't corny at all. So
yeah, that's the fine line, and that's what he's the master of.
Yeah.
So it's I hope people respond. I'm very excited to see it with a real audience.
Yeah.
There's some fan screenings this weekend that I might sneak into, and then obviously the midnight shows and opening weekend. That's my favorite time.
Is Joss guaranteed for Avengers 2?
There haven't been. We Marvel always makes contracts and options with all of our talent. So that everything is negotiated up front should we want to do that. I certainly want that to be the case. everybody's so fried, having just finished this movie last week, that the last thing anybody wants to talk about is, hey, let's jump into the next 2 or 3 years. Can I rest for a minute? We're sort of in that phase. I'm going off to do Iron Man 3, but I certainly hope that's the case.
And I asked this question of Joss, got a laugh in the press junket room, but I want to ask you too. What advice would you give to DC and Warner Brothers to get an ensemble Justice League movie
What
going?
did Joss say? I'm sure his answer is better than mine.
Talk to me.
I have no advice. I mean, the truth is, I spend enough of my whatever brain power I have working on how to do this for Marvel that I'm not going to also think about how to do it for other people. But I will tell you, I can't wait to see the new Dark Knight movie. That looks awesome, and I hope for the best. I root for all of the movies.
Yeah.
The more money they all make, the better they are. The better the people respond to them. It's good for all of us. So I root for every single one of them. I'd love to see a big, giant, awesome Justice League movie that people love and does well, because that'll just ensure that this continues.
On my site, there's always a war going on between Marvel and DC. I like Joss Whedon, I like Nolan, and then it's
they can't like both.
Ending. No, well, of course, somebody will pipe in and say, "What's wrong with you guys? Why can't you like them?"
Right.
But there's always that little war going on. And
Sure. That's since time immemorial, right? I mean, it's fun. It's I'm not a big sports guy or sports fan of any kind, but I imagine that's what it's like. Everybody likes football, but your team and their team is something. It's fun. It's fun to do that. I hope people do that with the characters in Avengers. People come out arguing. Hulk was the best. No, Iron Man was the best. No, Thor was the best. No, Cap was the best. I hope that we get those kind of arguments.
Right. Obviously, this won't be posted until everybody knows, but tell me about the decision to kill off Agent Coulson.
Joss has a reputation for, which I wasn't even particularly aware of, doing away with beloved characters in his properties. This was not his choice. This was not his idea.
Wow.
We really wanted to have Loki do something horrible, and have there be real stakes going into the end battle that frankly you don't see in a lot of our movies. We haven't even really killed off any major characters necessarily, and when you do that in a movie like this, it can be shocking and it can be unexpected, and it can really let you know that not everybody is safe. Right? I don't know if you watch Game of Thrones. I love Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah.
Holy moly, right? What an amazing example that was.
Yeah.
And now I'm tense every episode I watch because I don't know what they're going to do. And I think as executed by Joss, no pun intended, it's pretty moving and pretty important.
And I told Clark Gregg, said, "Don't worry about it. As soon as I get back online, I'll start. As soon as everyone knows the movie, I'll start a petition to get you resurrected. See what the fans can do."
Well, that's the good news, isn't it? Everybody knows
it's comics.
For as realistic as we want our movies to be, and you want to take them seriously, you do know that and the comics have shown us that anything is possible.
Right.
And I think the letters L and D are even used in the Avengers at one point.
I'm sure. All
Good.
right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.